And then my grandpa was like, what you are saying is like not like reason. I mean, that's your excuse.
Yeah.
And then he immediately bring his Japanese sword. 日本刀? How do you say that?
What?
Yeah, it's scary, right?
He got a sword.
Yeah, he got a sword. And my dad got scared and he jumped from the second floor.
That's the most Japanese thing I've ever heard. Oh my god. Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this podcast, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Michi, and these are my co-hosts.
Natsuki.
Hayato.
Today we're going to talk about Oshiri Pen.
お尻ペンペン。
Yup.
Yup.
It's time.
Can we, first of all, what does Oshiri Pen mean?
Spanking your butt. Is my English okay?
Yeah. Spanking, but not in an adulty way. Kids.
Not in an adult way, right?
Yeah.
Spanking your butt, right? Now, the reason why I want to talk about this today is because I had a conversation the other day about punishment for children. And I realized that people in Japan and people in America punish like children in kind of different ways. So I want to talk about this.
Okay.
So first thing I want to talk about is, were you guys spanked when you were kids?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was too. But now it's illegal in Japan
Yeah.
to spank.
Yeah.
You'll be in jail.
You go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about it? First of all, let's talk about when you guys were kids and you guys got spanked. Like what did you have to do in order to get spanked, and who spanked you? Hayato was probably your dad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what would be a thing that you did to get spanked?
I don't know. Not following the rules. Like I have to be home at like 5 or something, but I don't come back. I was like 3 or 4, so yeah. I think first time was like maybe 2 years old, 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember
Like,
because that was the first time ever.
so explain, like, how did it happen? Like, how did it go down?
Oh, he said, "Come here, sit down, stand up." And I said, "What? You just told me to sit, stand up, turn around," and then comes a
Did he spank you with with his hand or with a belt or?
no hands. His hands is good as belt. It's a weapon. It's huge.
I want to repeat it. His hand is good as weapon.
Yeah.
Now, like, was it? I mean, there's levels of spanking, right? There's like tap, 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 or was he like hitting you?
It was pretty hard. I remember. Yeah, it was hard for
Now,
a
he
3-year-old.
Spank you on your butt?
Yeah. He didn't go for my head or my face until I was a little older.
How older?
Like maybe junior high school, high school.
And he would slap you?
Oh yeah, he would drag me around and stuff. But yeah, but until then, I think no, just
On the butt?
Just the butt. Yeah.
How about mom? Did mom ever spank you?
No.
Not even once?
No,
Not even once?
Mom didn't do it because I don't know. She's not that kind of person. But she would like lock me out the house and stuff.
She'd lock you out of the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually happen.
Wait. Explain. Like she just puts you outside and locks the door and says,
Yeah.
you can't come home, son?
Yeah.
Like, what time of day and for how long?
Like maybe, I don't know. It was getting dark. But yeah, locked me out and then kept calling her names.
Mommy! みたいな.
No,
like in a bad way.
I hate you, kind of thing.
Yeah. You stupid. And then that didn't help. That extended my time.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah.
I was expecting you like, Mommy, sorry, please let me in.
No, I was saying back.
That's good. What about you? Did you? Okay, first of all, you said yes, you were spanked when you were a kid. Would mom spank you or dad spank you? Or both?
Actually, they have done that, but like only a few times.
Ah, so it was a rare thing.
Rare thing because I'm a girl.
Oh.
But my brothers, I have seen, my dad beating them so bad. And then, my mom was like, no, dad, stop it. And then it's like a wrestling thing. Do you understand what I mean?
How old were your brothers when this happened? Were they like teenagers?
Yeah, teenager. And then they didn't follow the rule, just like, Hayat said.
Rebellious stage, hankoki?
Yeah.
Can you say that again, please?
Rebellious stage.
Rebellious stage.
Yeah.
And then, my dad is pretty tall. He's like,
same as me.
Yeah, same as Mitch. And then he grabbed my brother's neck. Neck. Am I okay?
This is the collar.
Collar. Yeah, he grabbed my brother's collar. And then he take him to like outside or like a bathroom or a toilet room. So my house during that time had a lot of hole because they kick each other. Is it funny?
You have two brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I could see, especially with boys, like my house, we had 7 boys, right? Mm-hmm. And like my mom, she spanked us when we were young. I mean, like she would use a wooden spoon. One time she used like a branch from a tree. That woman would hit us. But more so than that, my father was my father was kind of crazy. He had this piece of rubber that came from a tire. Okay, so it was like this big. It was like this thick. And he would hit us with that like crazy hard. Like this man was abusive. Yeah. And like, man, that was so scary. And like, I remember one time, like, I was sick with chicken pox. Mizu boso. I was sick with chicken pox, and like, my brother did something bad, and then my brother got caught, but then he blamed it on me. And even though like I'm sick in bed and can't move, my dad believed my brother, and he came to spank me when I had chicken pox. And so I had all the little chicken pox, like little boko, like little red spots, and he spanked me, and they bled.
Oh my God!
Right?
How old were you?
I think I was like 8 or something, maybe 7, something like that.
Oh my God!
And my mom came home and saw that, and she freaked out. My mom and dad got into a big fight. But like, what I want to say by that is like violence towards children was totally normal that time, like in the 80s, in the 90s.
Like
it was totally
other families too?
Everyone did it. Like,
Okay.
especially people that went to our church. Like, because it says in the Bible somewhere, it's like, spare the rod, spoil the child. It's like, you need to discipline your children. But
Discipline.
But like, they took it to a completely different level. Like, it was crazy. And then like, once my father died, which was great, sorry. Once he died, and my mom, like all of the brothers, all the boys were too big for my mom. It's like no more punishment happened anymore in the family because like we were too big. And so my mom would just yell at us. And so we went from being like a very strict family with lots of punishment to being like completely chaos. So I remember like the transition. But at that time, it was totally normal. And in that time, in the 80s and 90s in Japan, it was okay for, not okay, but it was normal for teachers to hit the kids, right?
Yeah. Even my generation too.
What happened? Tell us about it.
I used to belong to the volleyball team, and the volleyball coach was very scary. He's like a scariest person in my life.
Really?
Still. Yeah, it's kind of like a trauma. Yeah, trauma. So like when I miss something, like
Made a mistake,
he kicked me.
He kicked you?
Yeah, he kicked me.
Like
not only me, like everyone of the team.
Okay, so like let's talk about this. Is it like a nice playful kick, or is it like a really hard kick?
It was really hard kick. And then he smacked my face. Smacked my face. He pulled my hairband.
Yeah. He pulled your hair.
Yeah, pulled my hair and spanked my face.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 times?
Yeah, it's
he
like
slap and then he pulled your hair and then slap again.
pull my hair and smash.
Oh, he pulled it, and as you come near him,
Yeah.
he slapped your face.
Thank you for the expression.
Wow.
Explaining.
That is now when we hear that now, we think that guy should be in jail. But at that time, that was pretty common, right? Like a lot of people did that.
Yeah, a lot of people did that. But you know, hiddenly, secretly. It wasn't, of course, it was a bad thing to teach your kids. But still, those custom was, exist at the time. And then people see it and then think that's a bad thing, but couldn't say no. Because he, like, it's kind of like his way to teach, like, discipline kids.
So, like, I mean, I don't want to say that all people at that time were like bad people, but at that time, that kind of action was kind of normal.
Yeah, kind of normal.
So, like, I mean, I think my dad was a little too much, and maybe Hayato's dad maybe a little too much, but for that time, like men, fathers spanked their sons.
Yeah. I mean, I think because they grew up with that.
Yeah.
So I think my dad got the same sort of treatment from his grandpa.
Yeah, same thing happened to my dad too. My grandpa was very strict person. So every time my dad made a mistake, my grandpa asked my dad to say something, like explain to me what you did or something like this. And then he explained what he did. And then my grandpa was like, what you are saying is like not like reason. I mean, that's your excuse.
Yeah.
And then he immediately bring his Japanese sword. Nihonto? How do you say
What?
that? Yeah, it's scary, right?
He got a sword.
Yeah, he got a sword. And my dad got scared and he jumped from the second floor to the first floor. He ran away.
Dude, if somebody pulled a sword out on me, I'd run away too.
Of course. It's not, my grandpa never sliced my dad.
See, you say of course, but dude, pulling out a sword?
Yeah.
That's the most Japanese thing I've ever heard. Oh my God.
Yeah, ask my dad.
Shit.
Ask my dad.
Like, wait, it's like a katana, like a real sword.
So.
Wow.
My grandpa liked collecting those swords. So,
Oh, okay, because I was going to ask why that dude had a sword. Like, what the hell? That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like your grandpa, like he'll be like my great grandpa. They went through war and stuff, so they're pretty, hardcore.
Yeah, so Hayato and my dad, and probably your dad too, that generation is like after World War II generation, right?
And then my father also went to Vietnam. He went to that one, and that really screwed up his head. Like, he got kind of crazy there.
I see.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it was pretty rough at the time, but like, who knows? If I have two kids. So who knows? I might. I feel like I probably will.
Yeah, like
not
just,
like super hard, like busting out swords and stuff. I wouldn't do that, but
I could just see you, like,
You
with
will be
Naru-kun, like, pulling out a
arrested.
sword.
yeah. But I
if you
think
do that.
I don't know. It's just part of like teaching kids.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so I don't have any kids. You do have kids. But I think that if I had kids, I don't know if I would use physical force to teach them a lesson. But with that said, I've raised my little brothers, and a couple of them, because they especially I think boys, when they get to that like rebellious stage where they're teenagers, they need to know the limitations of them. Like, they need to be put kind of, how can I explain this? They need to know that they can't be like king of the world. Like, they have a limit. And like a good way to do that is to, I don't want to say it, but through a force, like showing them that they're not, like boss of the world. There's a line that they can't cross. And so like when I was younger and I was raising them, I was a teenager, they were a teenager. We got into a physical fight and I kicked their ass. And then they learned, okay, there's consequences to my actions. And like some of those consequences can be actually very painful. And so at the time I thought it was a good thing. But now I don't know if that was the right choice. I don't know if we always need to use violence to teach something.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like an always thing, right? Not like little small things they did and you slapped their face. It shouldn't be like that. But I think sometimes they need to know, like, oh, if I do something really bad, there will be a consequence that I don't want to face. So that it's not like putting fear, but I think that's something a little maybe people might oppose to this, but it might be necessary sometime, I think.
It's hard to say, because like I said, I think that we're in a unique position in the world where we're learning that children have different needs than we used to think, right? Like we used to put kids in factories, right? And we used to not care about children's rights, but now we do. And so now we kind of know that little children are not little adults. They can't understand the world like we do. We also know that the brain doesn't fully start developing until 21 or 22 years old. So like with all this new information, it seems like, we have better tools to deal with problem children than violence. But at the same time, violence is very easy and quick, right? I think that's why our parents and their parents used violence as a teaching tool.
Yeah. And then I don't know why, when I got the spank from adult, it made me feel like I'm a very bad girl. Yeah.
This kind of sounds, I'm not going to say. That sounds,
Say it.
Yeah, it kind of sounds sexual what you're saying right now. Yeah, but I know what you mean. It makes you feel bad, right? It makes you feel like I did something wrong. But okay, so now it's illegal in Japan. You can't spank your kids anymore, and teachers can't hit the kids. So let me ask you two, since you two have very small children, instead of using violence, what kind of methods do you guys think that you'll use for your children? Like, what are some discipline techniques that you guys had in your past that wasn't violent?
So like for the last maybe 10 years, I've been dealing with kids and
not only your kids,
not only my kids as a teacher. And I learned how to kind of like stop kids from doing things bad by not like complimenting or praising, stuff like that, in a positive way. But so, I mean, that's one way you could do, sort of. You don't have to use violence. You can use your words. You just have to talk to them. It's a very, maybe effective way, but yeah. But now, with all that things that I learned, here comes my daughter, out of control. All these things that I've learned, it's not really working. So I'm thinking, well, I feel like I'm gonna just like, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna do that. Really, like my hands like really quick.
Yeah, isn't it like a natural thing? You just want to, you do. I mean, especially when kids are misbehaving, it's a natural impulse.
Yeah,
I think we as like smart adults now, we have to like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how hard to hit. Do you understand what I mean?
The level.
Yeah, the level. Because when I think of the adults that have hit me when I was young, I think they didn't know how to control their temper. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, so Natsu, let's talk about that. So sometimes we lose our cool as adults, and we take it out. It's possible to take it out on the children, right?
Yeah. So maybe, including my parents and my volleyball teacher, I mean, they probably have had a bad day. And then if we did something wrong, they hit us to, like cover their day. Do you understand what I mean? So what I mean is, what I need to do with my kid is I need to save my temper, control my temper.
Control yourself.
Yeah, control myself. And try, of course, control myself, and we need patience. Yeah, patient, and also need some word to explain them well. How to explain them.
Yeah, there's a lot of times in my past where, my parents would say, you did something bad, and then just spank. But there's no explanation. There's no talking through it. There's no giving me the tools that I need as a child to understand why what I did was wrong. Just spank. And And so I just know that if I make my parents angry, they're going to be violent towards me. But I
Right.
never really learn a lesson other than that.
Right. So I said when they hit me, it made me feel bad. I mean, it made me feel like I'm a bad girl. But I'm growing up now and then try to think about what I did, and I didn't really do such a bad thing. Do you understand what I mean? But because they hit me, it made me feel like I'm bad. But I didn't really do it.
So it's kind of just like a psychological pain now.
Yeah, psychological pain.
So let's talk about non-physical punishment techniques. And this is one thing that's really different, I think, between Japan and America, is that when we were kids, like if we had a timeout, my mom would put us in a corner where we couldn't see anything. We just sat there in the corner. We were supposed to think about what we did or something like that. But I hear in like Japan, like you don't do that.
My parents put me in the oshire. How do you say oshire? Closet?
Closet.
Yeah, closet, and then couldn't get out, and then I was in dark and scary.
So I don't feel like in the closet is a punishing technique in America. I feel like the corner, timeout, or go to your room, but not the closet. But yeah, in Japan, they put them in the dark room.
Yeah. I think it's the isolation technique, right? Because I remember one teacher at the kindergarten, he did do that. Put the child sit down like facing towards the corner, and he's not allowed to like look back or stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's one of the isolation, just like my mom did. She locked me out of my
Yeah, but that's sad. And when I got in the closet, I screamed like, "Get me out! Let me out!" You know, I was so scared.
Yeah, but like, is that, I don't know if that's an effective technique, all right? I mean, it's easy for the parents. You put the problem in a closet and then you don't have to worry about the problem for a little while. But does it actually teach the children anything? I don't know.
And just like Hayato said, Japanese parents tend to let them out from the house.
Put them outside.
Put them outside. But it's becoming a very big problem because it got, somebody got kidnapped and never got back.
Really?
Yeah, so it's becoming like, don't let ever,
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was a child, my Japanese mom would, on summer days, push us out the door at like 8:30 in the morning, and she wouldn't let us back in until noon. Like, we had to stay outside until 12 p.m.
So that means like go pray, right?
Yeah, right. But she would lock the door.
Oh, okay.
And then it's in Las Vegas, and it's like 110 or 15 degrees. So what is that in Celsius? Like 50 degrees Celsius. And so like, that's dangerous. But she would just be like, go outside and play. And so we would just like sit outside in the hot outdoors until noon. And then she would open the door and give us lunch, and then push us back outside.
Aren't there any like supermarket or any
No,
cool
there's
place?
Nothing. No, there's nothing to do. So we just made a lot of trouble because you're boys and you have nothing to do and you're outside. So we just made a lot of trouble.
Like what?
Okay. So one time, the 4th of July in America, they sell fireworks everywhere. And so I bought fireworks from this fireworks stand, and then I took them apart and got all the gunpowder out of the firework, and then made a pipe bomb. I think I was 9, and I made a pipe bomb. Okay, because you're a boy and you want to know how this stuff works. And I made this pipe bomb, and I walked over to this like vacant lot where there's no buildings, it's just dirt, and I lit this pipe bomb, and it exploded. And it was really funny, and haha, it was cool. What I didn't realize was that I put cotton on the inside to like push the gunpowder together. That cotton flew out of the bomb, and it was on fire. And it flew against a fence. And these 2 giant telephone poles, what do you call a telephone pole?
Denshu.
Denshinbashira.
So all of that caught on fire.
Was it made of wooden?
Wood.
Wood.
And all of it caught on fire.
Oh my God.
And then like, I didn't notice that until all this smoke started coming overhead. And I go, oh my God, what is that? And I walk over there, and it's all that stuff's on fire. It's somebody else's house. It's like a fence and 2 telephone poles.
Oh my God.
And then I got the water hose from that house and started putting it out. And I almost entirely put it out before the firemen came. And when the firemen came, they sprayed it with some foam stuff. And anyway, you'd think that if you're going to spank a child, the day that he made a pipe bomb and caught a bunch of stuff on fire would be the day that you spank your child. I didn't get into trouble at all for this. Nothing happened.
Well, because people didn't find you.
No. The police and the fire officers took me like this to my mom. Mm-hmm. And they explained to her what happened. But I think because the incident was just too big, it was like crazy like damage that like no one knew what to do. So I just sat in my room for 2 days and like I didn't really get in trouble.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, if that happened now, what it's going to happen?
It'd be on the news, right?
Yeah.
But at that time, they're like, oh, you're just being a boy.
Oh.
Like, yeah, because we had nothing to do at that time. Like, children had nothing to do.
But good, no one got hurt.
Yeah. Because, I was a kid, so I don't really know how dangerous that is. I think I saw this in a movie or something and just wanted to do it. And so, like, I could have really hurt myself or hurt other people, but yeah, nothing happened.
What is the most stupid thing that you would ever done when you were a kid?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like when I did something really big, I didn't get anything.
Oh.
Yeah, when it's really big, right? Your parents are just in shock and they don't know what to do.
I think he wanted to. I heard afterwards that his friend was like, "Come on, don't do it. Like, just calm down and don't do it."
What did you do?
I don't know. And then I did something like a little less stupid. Then he would like super get mad. So my rooms gets destroyed.
Oh my God, I'm so curious what you did.
I think I know what you did. I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So, but my dad was like, he's all about that. Like, I'm gonna teach you. He does that to everyone. One time my cousin and his friends came home.
Is this the really big cousin?
Yeah.
The not smart one?
Yeah, when he was in junior high school. 3 of them came. Like, I think my dad and my uncle was drinking. They came to the house. They just went upstairs without saying hello. He was like, calm down. He made them sit down. He slapped all 3 of them. They didn't even know these kids.
Yeah, sounds like my grandpa. Yeah. My grandpa did the same thing. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it is. Like the old traditional way is like,
say hello when you...
近所のおじさん. 怖い近所のおじさん. Like scary neighbors.
Old man
is everywhere.
Say hello when you walk into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like manners in Japan that if you don't follow, like before it was like instant violence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually where we live. There is the Satsuma Ei Senso, I think it's called.
Satsue Senso.
Satsue Senso. It's a Satsuma England. It's okay. You guys call it the Satsuma England War. And the English call it the Satsuma Incident.
It's not even a war.
It's not even a war.
Okay.
So what happened was a sailor from a British ship was walking in front of a samurai and didn't bow.
Yeah.
They didn't know
it was a lord.
Yeah, it was maybe a lord. But this was 1800. This is, 100 some plus years ago. They didn't bow. And so the samurais killed 2 of the sailors. Just straight killed them, like right away. The British got pissed off, obviously, and they had a ship in the harbor, and they bombarded the city with cannon fire and like destroyed the whole city. But the Satsuma side had like 1 or 2 cannons too, and they shot back, killing 1 or 2 of the British people, and none of the people in Satsuma died, but all of their buildings were destroyed, right? And so because of that, Satsuma says that they won.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining.
And when I heard this history, I was just like, oh my God, like what is this crap?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how strict it used to be. Like these sailors who are from a different country, don't even speak the same language, don't know the manners. They didn't bow, and then the samurai just killed them.
Yeah.
Cut them down.
Yeah, but now, like, I'm going back to the school topic, but now it's, whenever if a teacher hit a child, the parents would come and then complain and get sued or something. I feel like now maybe the school is like a little bit out of control. Like these kids are like looking at adults like, he's nothing. Like,
He's nothing. I can take him.
Yeah, I could take him. And that happens sometimes. So I'm not saying it's good to hit a student, but also, how do you control these junior high school, not high school is okay, but like junior high school kids.
Yeah.
Who's like full of like, I'm the badass.
Oh
you know
my
what I mean?
God. Yeah, sounds awful. Yeah, I hear that some bad junior high school student try to make the teacher hit them. Do you understand what I mean? You can't do this. Well, come on, you can't do this. And then, why don't you hit me? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, they're instigating them.
Instigating them. And then, of course, the teacher can do it. Such a frustration job, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be hard.
Yeah, must be hard.
Now, I don't think that violence is always the key, but I do think that children need to learn that violence is a thing, and that it is possible for a situation to like become violent and to avoid that, right? And so maybe I think one of the best ways that we could probably do that, especially for boys, is to get boys into martial arts. I think that if you're learning karate or judo or something like that, and since you're being physical with other people, you learn your power and the power of others. And you learn that, oh, if I go too far, things will happen. And so, like, I think a controlled way of teaching them discipline would be martial arts. And, you talk to fighters, people who like boxers and wrestlers and fighters and sumo wrestlers. They're the kindest people in the world. They're so nice because they let all that physical aggression and violence out in their sport. And then they're just really chill for the rest of the day. And I think that we're in this middle zone where we're making the transition from a very violent species before where humans used to fight and kill each other and, very violent, to being a very peaceful species. But at the same time, young boys have testosterone. They have these bodies that they kind of want to test the limits of how far can they push the line. It's a natural thing for boys to do. And I think that if we don't teach them a limitation to that or teach them how to control that, it's going to be chaos. And I think that's what we're seeing in schools, especially in Japan. You see it's almost always boys who just have no discipline and no control. So
what would you do if your son decides to join a biker's gang?
Like a Bosozoku?
Yeah. You let him, like, oh, good job. Go ride hard.
So
he's causing problems, making noise.
So I actually had kind of like a similar, not Bosozoku, but I had like a similar experience with my youngest brother, Ken, who I raised like a son. And I was in my 30s when he was in his teenagers to 20s, right? And so it was like having this rebellious young son. And it was really hard for me to control him because I didn't want to be violent with him. But at the same time, he wouldn't listen. And like he thought, especially because he moved from America to Japan, and he just thought he was King Kong. Like he thought he was the biggest thing in the world. And he learned a lot of really hard lessons after that. Because he made a lot of really big mistakes that could have been avoided if he listened to me. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder if I would have just kicked his ass, just beat the hell out of him one time, would he have been able to reset and think, okay, maybe I'm being ridiculous, I need to calm down? I don't know. But because I didn't do it, it's something that I do think about sometimes. I'm like, maybe that kid should have got his ass kicked a couple more times, learned his limitations, and been a better person. But I don't know if that would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it really depends on the age. I mean, if you're over 20 and I don't know if getting your ass kicked would make it more rebellious.
Right.
I don't know. If he was in like a teenage or something, like if he got beat up, then maybe that would have been like a way to learn things. But I know some people who never got anything from their parents. They could do whatever they want. So, and joining the gang or whatever. So that happens. But I don't know what's the right way.
Yeah, because sometimes parents are really strict. Kids turn out really nice and good kids. Sometimes parents are really strict and the kids go the complete opposite. They go really bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes parents are really, really free, like hippie parents, and like do whatever you want. And sometimes those children turn out very good, and sometimes it turns out really bad. It's really hard to tell.
It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
It depends on the kids.
But one thing about Japan that is nice is that the level of bad things that the children can do is kind of limited. Like there's no guns.
Yeah.
Gangs are kind of cute in Japan. I mean, they're not really that violent. And like, you know, like what Hayato said, like joining Bosozoku is basically the worst thing you can do. And for those of you that don't know, Bosozoku is just basically kids on motorcycles, flashy motorcycles that are really loud. So they're basically like Hell's Angels, but Japanese style.
Yeah. I mean, you know, nowadays I think they just like to ride bikes or they just want to copy. So they're not really they're not bad kids, but they just want to look cool. But yeah, you're right. There's not much things to do, bad things to do around
But
here.
at the same time, can I ask this question? Don't you guys think that it's kind of important to do a little bad stuff when you're a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Like the kid who's never done anything wrong, that's a scary kid. Like I feel like that's a crazy person. Like you got to do some bad things. Like I did plenty of bad things when I was a kid. Like I just told you guys, I burned down a fence with 2 telephone poles.
You're a criminal, man.
There's more.
You're an arsonist.
There's more. I have more
Criminal.
stories. I have more stories.
What have I done? I'm 結構 good girl だったよな。I stole something from the shop and nobody find me. So,
I think that's like every kid at some point steals something.
Okay.
Just to see.
yeah, just to see.
Did you guys hear? She stole something.
I
If you're
did.
looking for this is the person. She stole
30
it.
years later,
Yeah.
here she is.
They're
I
probably
mean,
looking for you right now.
But my oldest brother stole chocolate from the store and then he got found out from the police and, you know.
He got caught from
Yeah,
the
he
police.
got caught by the police. And then my dad spanked him, hit him so hard. Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe after that, he was like, "Oh, can I have my chocolate?"
No.
Here's a question. In American culture, if you say a bad word, mommy washes your mouth with soap.
Mommy washes your mouth with a soap.
Yeah, put soap in your mouth. Or
What
makes
that
you put a
mean?
soap bar in your mouth.
What does that mean?
So mama.
Clean your
Oh,
mouth, you dirty mouth.
when you speak bad word.
Yeah, when you say a bad word.
Okay.
Did your parents ever put soap in your mouth?
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
never.
It's a real thing.
When I was 9, I said, you probably don't know the word, but you know, I was reading my brother's comic book, and then the comic book had so much bad words. And then when my mom scolded me, I said, "Damare kuso amatsu." Do you understand what that means?
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, shut up,
Shut up.
stupid bitch. Maybe in English.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then my mom was so surprised looking at me because I'm like, she believed I'm not so innocent, you know, little 9-year-old girl. And then she suddenly said, you know, kuso ama. And then she was like, where did you learn such a bad word? And then I was like, from my, you know, brother's comic book. I got locked out.
There's not, that's the thing is, in Japanese, there's not a lot of bad words.
Yeah,
Like,
kuso ama.
I think like the worst word you could say is probably kuso, but it's not even as bad as like the bad words in English.
Yeah, maybe the most bad word in Japanese, what is it?
Die.
Daishine? Maybe.
But because in America, if you say like shit or it's not really directed towards anybody sometimes. But in Japanese, if you're saying something bad, that's like direct towards somebody.
Towards someone, yeah.
So it's a bad word basically.
So there's spanking, corner, you guys put in the closet or locked out. What else is there? Like I got grounded. Do you guys do grounding in Japan?
Grounded is like 定年なん違う謹慎でしょ
You can't go outside, yeah.
Stay home. Hashtag stay home.
My brother, I mean my middle brother was smoking when he
Okay.
was high school, and then he got grounded for like a week from the school.
That's from school, right? But I mean like grounded in English is like where you're not allowed to go outside and play with your friends.
Oh, okay.
You go to school, you come home, you stay home.
Okay.
So there's no outside.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys have that ever happen?
No.
Nah.
Man, I got grounded all the time.
How did your mom say like you're grounded?
That's it. You're grounded. You don't go outside for the next week, and so you just.
You keep the secret promise
It's not. Yeah, you have
because
to.
your mom go to work and she cannot see you.
Okay, I'm talking about when my dad was alive.
Okay.
Like after my dad died, like I had to be responsible. So I quickly had to become a good kid.
Okay.
So then after that, I was totally good. But like before that, I was a little rebellious.
Okay.
Because like all boys, I think, are rebellious when they're young.
Skip meal.
What?
Oh.
They don't feed you?
Well, they say
Yeah,
that.
it happens. It
but
happens.
I don't know.
You're going to bed with no dinner tonight.
Yeah, or no games or something. I think recently probably like no games.
Taking away their stuff.
Yeah,
taking your
slow away your stuff.
Yeah.
Break your game.
Yeah, but that's just violence to an object, right? It's like the same thing as spanking.
Yeah. I don't know recently. Yeah, I still need to learn.
Yeah, I still need to
I have
learn
my
too.
kids.
Josh, did you ever get spanked? Did your blonde white mommy spank you?
I got spanked twice in my life, and both times weren't my fault, so she apologized after.
What?
Yeah.
So you got spanked for no reason.
Yeah. First time I was like 3 years old and I was throwing a tantrum in public, and my mom got angry and just spanked me. But then she found out that I had a really high fever and I had to go to the hospital. Second time, something got spilt on my clothes in my dresser, and she like came into the shower room when I was showering, and then she like pulled me out and slapped me on the butt, and I was like, I was in here, I didn't spill it. And then apparently my cat like knocked something over, and she apologized after.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got raw spanked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
bare butt.
That hurts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what my policy on spanking is. I do agree with the situation with you, Natsuki. I think with girls, I don't think that spanking should be a thing with girls. I don't know why I feel this way. Maybe I'm sexist, but I feel like women, especially little girls, should be like talked to. I just feel like boys have that energy that you have to deal with.
What happened if the parents spank you in America now?
Nothing.
Are they no jail?
No.
Oh, okay.
They'll whoop your ass, man. Like it also depends on the level, right?
Yeah, it depends on the level.
Like maybe my dad would go to jail now because he was pretty violent. But like light spanking or something like that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I grew up with it, so I don't feel like it's a bad thing. If you go overboard, then that's bad. But as long as you have a reason, then I think it's okay.
So recently, Sean Connery passed away, and he has a famous interview from the 1990s where he was talking to Barbara Walters, I think. And she asked him about, you've been known to hit a woman. And he said, straight up, sometimes a woman needs to be slapped.
Sean Connery said
Yeah,
that.
he just said that. Because, he's about the same age, a little bit older than Hayato's father.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like that size man, right?
Yeah.
And he just looks at her and says, sometimes a woman needs to be slapped.
Yeah. At that time, I have seen my dad slap my mom, and I was so scared.
But like at that time, it happened, right?
Yeah,
it was
it
a
happened.
thing.
Yeah, it was a thing.
It's crazy. Like you would never, like today, if a man slaps his wife, he's a monster, right? But at that time, those people were just like,
Yeah, they did.
If it's Sean Connery, I think it's okay.
Yeah, but my former teacher who hit me so hard is now maybe it's English, so maybe okay, but it's not okay. But he's kind of like very erai hito.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like an important person
Yeah,
now.
he's like an important person. And then once I hear that he said, physical punishment never should happen in school. And then I hear it, and I was like, you cannot say that, teacher. Do you understand what I
But
mean?
maybe he changed his mind.
Yeah, he changed his mind, of course. But I was kind of, funny to hear that.
Of all the people to say that, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I think eventually we got to learn, like, violence, there's other ways, right?
Yeah, it was a thing.
You feel bad though,
Yeah.
after you do that.
Some people feel bad, but some people don't feel bad.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever slapped your dad or mom?
No.
You?
Because like Mitch said, I learned martial arts, so I never fought back.
Ah.
Because I dodged it.
You know your power.
If I couldn't dodge it, maybe, but...
I have. To
You
my
hit your mom?
Yeah, I did. And I felt so bad.
What was the scenario? Like, I feel like girls hitting their moms is a way different league, different thing than boys hitting their dads.
I was bad. I spit on her face.
Oh my God, why?
Yeah. She said something, I don't know. I was very hankoki. Hankoki, how do you say that?
Rebellious stage.
Rebellious stage. And my family was kind of like, なんかみんな暴力的だった at that time.
Everybody's kind of violent, crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of violent family.
I mean, my family too. I can't. Same.
Yeah, and I feel so sorry, Mom. So now
Well, but why was she just like telling you to do something you didn't want to listen, or?
Yeah, it wasn't such a big thing that she told me, but I got pissed off.
Pissed off.
I got pissed off, and I can't even remember what she said. But I kept saying like, "You don't know anything about me, Mom." Why did I do that? Maybe I saw some comic book and, comic book character did that and I wanted to copy her. I was bad.
Yeah, and then here's the thing, right? Like most normal people who are very good people now did really some bad things when they're kids.
Okay.
But then like we learn from it, we become a better person. That's what I'm telling you. The kids that are the scary ones are the ones that don't do anything bad.
Wow.
Like those kids grow up to be psychopaths. You know what I mean? Like it's like, whoa, you don't do anything bad? That's weird.
Yeah. You, Josh?
Josh is a psychopath.
You have no hankoki in your life?
You never had a rebellious stage?
Yeah, I don't think I had a rebellious stage. Like I think the worst thing that I did was in high school, I lied to my mom, said I was staying at my friend's house, and I stayed that night at my girlfriend's house. I think that's the worst thing I did.
Oh my God, so cute.
Man, I don't want to go down the list of things that I've done. We'll just stay off that. I think I also grew up in Vegas. You don't want to raise kids in Vegas. It's a not good environment.
Yeah, I want to see kids in Vegas. How do they spend their life in there?
Yeah, it depends on how much money your parents have, really. Like, if you're rich and you live in the good areas, you're fine. But if you're like my family was, like we're poor, yeah, kids make a lot of trouble. Man, we were so bad.
Yeah, I wanted to see. Like if we have time, I want to go back to see what your kind of life that you've had in.
Yeah, one of these days, I think I'm gonna write a book about it because I did so many crazy things. I can't believe I'm still alive.
Oh,
like
sounds like fun.
Yeah, like I don't want to get into it because I don't want to influence any children, but there were some bad things.
Oh.
But I turned out okay, I think. I hope.
Yeah, I turned out
yeah.
okay too. You too.
I hope I am.
I hope I am too. What would I do if my daughter spit on me?
Yeah, what would you do if your daughter spit on you?
I will probably laugh because I did the same thing in the past.
Yeah, but at that time, I don't think you could laugh. I think you'd probably just lose control.
I don't know. It depends on, things.
She might stop doing bad things because, oh my God, she might tell her friends, I spat on my mom. She started laughing. And then friends like, dude, she's fucking psycho.
That's funny. Oh, isn't it a positive way to finish this show?
All right, kids out there, don't spit on your moms. All right, that's been today's show. If you guys want to leave us a comment about how your parents punished you when you were a kid, you can leave us a comment in the comment section below. That's been today's show. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey everyone, Josh here. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Small Talk Japan. Small Talk Japan was filmed and recorded in Kagoshima at Story Studios. This week's episode stars Michi, Natsuki, and Hayato. The audio is done by Hayato and is produced by me, Josh, and is executive produced by Michi. Hair services provided by Drops Hair Temonkan. This week's episode is sponsored by Stapleton A. Kaiwa. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think of the show. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed the show, click here to subscribe and click here to watch more. See you next time!